Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So chapter 5 of the Gita, these 3 verses, I told you last time, very important because they literally cover the whole snapshot. They give you a snapshot of the whole spiritual path. We always have this incorrect concept that spirituality means giving up and denying ourselves. And maybe one day you reach the ultimate state. There's no such thing. So that's what he says in 21. Unattached to the external contacts, one finds the happiness within. And uniting yourself to Brahman, one attains the eternal bliss. So there are 2 distinct stages. One is relative, to the extent you are fixated, committed to these higher values of life, gaining the knowledge, service and sacrifice, devotion. These are the higher values, the 3 basic higher values of life. You will find commensurate happiness, which is far superior to anything else in the world. It's a permanent elevation of your thought process. It's not just a temporary, you go for a weekend, you come back, you're back to square one. That's the world. So, the prerequisite is you must have at least minimum detachment. That's what he says, unattached to external contacts. So some detachment, and then you get established in these higher values and you derive that bliss within. And that propels you, as it were, to go further, dive deeper until you hit enlightenment. You become the Brahman, the reality, which is infinite bliss, the state of Paripurna in Sanskrit, means completeness, totality, infinity. That's enlightenment. So he gives you this, it's your choice, what you want to do in the world. So unattachment means you're attached to the higher. And what you must understand, any attachment gives you sorrow. See, I remember I told you a story. I often mention it, maybe not for a while, but so the student of mine, his boss is he's also in a good position here in Manhattan. Boss is one of the top guys. And he was accompanying him for a meeting few blocks away. So they walked, to the next building or whatever for a meeting. And they're walking back. And the boss is literally running back to the office. And this guy is saying, "What's your hurry? We don't have another meeting. It's lunchtime now." He says, "You've forgotten. There's a free pizza in the office." That fellow is running. This fellow is saying this guy makes 2-3 million a year, dollars. And he's running for that free. Literally, he was. And when they got, by the time they got there, because all his friends, same category, everything's finished. So he was so disturbed. So this guy said, let me donate him $4-5 for a couple of slices. I'll order it for him. See, this is attachment. No matter what you have, no matter what you do, if you're attached, you will suffer. Whether it's wealth, whether it's family, whether it's health. People are attached to their health. Horrible life. Everything you have to read the label 10 times. And then worried about the air you breathe, and then worried about this, and then what is happening in that part of the world, and then how is the food supply, and everything will disturb you. You got to die, you die once, man. Why you die every day? Attachment is a living death. Every day you die. Because you're constantly worried. So that basic detachment has to be there. Okay, there is a world. It's a passing phenomenon. What is my purpose? That is detachment. Not getting swept away, but taking the time to explore what life is really all about. That's all detachment means. You don't have to get away. And then you go within. That's Vedanta. You find out beyond this body, mind, intellect, which is born, will die, there is a self. How do I pursue it? What is it? That's the real happiness of life. As Wordsworth says, plain living and high thinking. That should be your motto. The more you elevate your thoughts, it's not you deny yourself, the less you need of the word, because you're satisfied with knowledge, with understanding, with wisdom. So requirements become minimum. In fact, you always feel you have more than what you need. That is knowledge. Otherwise, like this fellow, doesn't matter how much you earn. One more free thing, $2 more I'll make. What is the psychology of free? What is it? If I get that free, that much less I have to pay for lunch. $5 more to the millions already there. This is what you'll become. This is attachment. And then you may say, what's your problem? I still want to be attached to the world. And that is 22. He tells you what the consequences are of that indiscriminate attachment. So all clear so far? I'm just recapturing what we did last week, 21, because it's important. And 22 tells you what happens when you pursue the world. And 23 gives the gist of what you need to do to get out of this cycle of attachment. So that's why I said these three are literally crucial verses. So all clear with 21? 22.
Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkayonaya evate adyantavantah kaunteya nate shuramate buddhaha.
For means because. The enjoyments that are born of contacts, sparsha bhoga. Sparsha means contact born. Bhoga enjoyments are only dukkha yonaya. Dukkha sorrow, yoni womb. They are just wombs of sorrow. They have a beginning and an end. Adya anta. O Kaunteya, the wise does not rejoice in them. See, this is a bird's eye view of what wisdom means. The wise won't get swayed by them. That's what he means. It's not that they don't contact them, but they are not led away by them. They're not enamored of them. Let's put it that way. So, what is the enjoyments of the world? See, what happens is the fact that he's saying enjoyment, no doubt it's an enjoyment, but it's temporary. It's not that it's going to satisfy you. It's not possible. The only thing which will truly satisfy you is getting back to your own self. That permanent bliss. That's what we want, actually. So, what happens is they have a beginning and an end. Before that, there's no enjoyment. After that, there's no enjoyment. It's a finite period of time. Less or more, that's about it. Number one. So, it's not going to satisfy you. Number two, you may say, what's your problem? It doesn't end there. He calls it womb of sorrow. Now, for those who've not heard this term, womb of sorrow, because the minute I ask a question, people who've been studying for 15 years will give an no. You heard it, no. Give others a chance. Those who recently joined. When you say womb of sorrow, what is this word womb? Why is he using the word womb? What is the implication? He's not saying sorrow, he's saying there are wombs of sorrow. Sneha, newcomers first. Francia, you've become an old comer now. Sneha, go ahead.
The birthplace of sorrow, it's kind of like where it's born from.
When it's born, then there is a birth of sorrow. Why womb of sorrow? What's the implication of that word womb?
Where things are seeding, where things are born from.
Seeding, correct. Iris?
Yes, hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi. I was going to say the same thing, where it was created, where it's born from.
No, you're right. It is, the womb is the place from where something comes. So that is one implication. You're right. Iris?
Yes.
Oh, the other Iris. There's an Iris.
Oh,
there are two irises. Wow, that's the first. Okay.
I think that maybe it's the place where you enter your physical existence on this planet and where suffering starts.
Where suffering starts. No, that is independently true. I'm talking about why is he using that term for enjoyment. See, he's calling an enjoyment a womb of sorrow. So one interpretation which you guys covered is it's the birthplace of sorrow. But there's another interpretation of womb. Tim?
When you're in the womb, you're attached. You're attached to the mother.
You're attached to the mother. That's you stretched it quite a bit, but good. I'm glad you're thinking. Mr. or Mrs. iPhone or Miss, I don't know. Ooh. Go ahead.
I think my name is Rekha. I don't know. I'll change the profile. I'll put my name. I don't know why it's saying iPhone.
That would be good.
Okay. Thank you so much, Swamiji. So I feel the womb of sorrow because it's growing from there. In the womb, the child grows, right? It's from embryo and it grows after.
Yeah, that's what. It grows. Correct.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. It's the starting point. I know.
Exactly.
Lots of sorrow. Growing. That's good. But there's something else. Roxanne?
nurtured.
Growing, flowering, whatever you want to call it, same thing. Francia?
I don't think they have anything different. Everyone's kind of just covered all that.
Everything's covered. Kranti, who's sure?
So, yeah. So I think whatever starts have to end with sorrow. So it's
Whatever starts ends with sorrow. Okay. They're giving lots of chances. See, they will go on. Now there are 5 fellows. Now we got to stop sometime, right? So what the implication is, when you say womb, you don't see the child, even though it's growing. See, you must connect the two. So what are you seeing? You're not seeing sorrow. What are you seeing? Enjoyment. That's the beauty of that word. See, just as when a child is in the womb, you're not seeing the child, you're seeing the mother. Right? The child is invisible. Similarly, you're seeing, experiencing joy. The sorrow is invisible at that time. It only comes later. That's the delusion. See, the biggest problem with the world is what he'll say that in the 18th verse, in the final verse, when Krishna is summarizing the teaching, that's what he says. Joy, what is pleasure in the beginning, is nectar in the end, is poison in the end. What is nectar in the beginning is poison in the end. And what is poison in the beginning is nectar in the end. See, exercise is poison in the beginning. The benefits are long lasting after a while. It's not pleasant first if you're not used to it. Junk food is pleasure, nectar in the beginning. Poison comes later, destroys your body. So, same thing. See, if what was actually beneficial for you was pleasant in the beginning, automatically all of us would do it. Have you ever thought of that? Suppose something terrible for you, drugs, is terrible in the beginning. Why would anybody take it? Automatically you'd keep away from it, right? This is life's greatest contradiction. So pleasure appears in a mask of sorrow, and sorrow appears in the mask of pleasure. That's what he says, womb of sorrow. Because he's saying you are getting enjoyment, so you don't see the sorrow. So what happens when you fulfill any desire? 2 things happen. One is a series of desires grows out of that desire. So in other words, it's insatiable. That craving for that grows and grows. That's why after a while in life you get fatigued. How many people have told me, I have everything I could want. I have everything. Now why do I feel miserable? Why do I feel? Because even though you feel you have everything, the mind craves for much more. So you feel that same sense of unfulfillment, agitation in life. In fact, many of you are new, so you may not have heard this. One guy from the Telegraph in London, I think was covered here also in the Wall Street Journal, if I'm not mistaken. But this was many years ago. He called it wealth fatigue syndrome. Have you ever heard of that? So he was interviewing this guy who just bought a yacht to celebrate a successful business or whatever, some success in business. He bought a 100-foot yacht or something like that. And he's throwing a party where this journalist was invited. And the journalist is interviewing him on the deck there. And another yacht passed by. And this fellow's expression fully changed. And the journalist asked him, what happened? He says, that's a 200-footer. This is only 100-foot. First day he's bought it. This is the fatigue. No matter what you have. So this is the sorrow. there is no satisfaction in life, really. So you can take your own life. If somebody told you 20 years ago you would have had this much that you have today, 20 years ago, that means everything. Wow. Now what is it? It's nothing. So the enjoyment that is born of contact is just sorrow in the future. See, Vedanta is not saying you should not acquire, but you have that desire, that attachment to it, that sorrow will never go. It's not possible. Never gone for anybody. And secondly, which also nobody understands, even that temporary enjoyment. Now follow carefully. You're saying I'm getting an enjoyment, right? Your next argument would be, anybody sensible would say, okay, at least I have that enjoyment with me. No. The more you contact that enjoyment, the less the enjoyment becomes. So even that temporary enjoyment goes. That's the devastating part of it. Which enjoyment stays? Anything you take. You had your first beer when you were a teenager. What a kick it was, right? You snuck in, stole your dad's stash when he was gone out, and friends and all had a great time. One beer, what did it give you? You were rolling somewhere. Then after a while, you needed 2 beers to get that same pleasure. Do you realize what that means? You just take 2 beers, but you don't understand what it means is you've lost 50% of the pleasure because you need double the quantity to get the same pleasure. Then after a while, you need 4. Then you go to a harder drink. Till a time comes, you can drink a bottle. There's no pleasure. You're neutralized. This is called neutralization. So it diminishes till you become neutralized to it. And now is the real sorrow. I'm not coming to sorrow. This itself is bad enough because you need more quantity for the same pleasure. But a time comes you will get zero pleasure. And then you may ask, why does the alcoholic keep drinking? Because without the object, he feels miserable. So he needs it just to remain normal. This is addiction. The alcoholic doesn't get pleasure from alcohol, but without it, he gets withdrawal. He's miserable. So he needs it just to be normal. This is sorrow. Now you can't even remain normal without an object. So this is what happens in life, friends. You get neutralized. It happens everywhere. See, we are neutralized to our eyes. When you wake up in the morning, you open your eyes, do you jump with joy that you can see? You're neutralized. But if somebody took away your eyes, you'd be miserable. I'd be miserable. We'll do anything to get our eyes back. With it, there is no pleasure. Without it, we are miserable because it's there all the time. We're neutralized. So that is what has happened to us. Most human beings have something to look forward to. This afflicts most of the people who have everything. Terrible life. Because there's nothing to look forward to. That's why then you need external things, alcohol, drugs, and you see the lives of so many celebrities who have everything. Why do they have overdoses? This is the reason. Nothing in the world gives you pleasure. So you need stimulation. You need variety. After a while, you get neutralized to variety also. It doesn't work. So one of my students, you heard this, right? He bought his dream BMW many years back. Beautiful car. It was the first car which they had the seat massage. I remember because he said, I want you to drive it. So I drove it. And he, slyly he put on the massager. I said, what happened? Is an earthquake? Or honestly, suddenly in the middle of the road, the seat started shaking. He said, this is a massager. I said, good. And he was so excited, so excited. And then next week I asked him, because we meet weekly for class. Those days it was actual lectures, not online, right? And I said, how's your car? He said, after 4 days, it's just a car. He told me one of the most philosophical things I've ever heard. After 4 days, it's just a car. That's it. From the dream car, it's become a car. Takes me from place A to place. See, you neutralize. After how much will you go on massaging your? How will you go on? After a while, you get sick of it. Let me just drive normally. So, what you must understand, what Vedanta says, see, there are two ways to deal with this. Instead of craving for the world, you shift your thoughts to higher values. That's step number 1. That pleasure is permanent. So you're not dependent on these temporary things. 2, all of us are not saints, right? None of us. So to some extent, we need temporary pleasures from the world. You'd like to go watch a movie. You'd like to go to a restaurant. You'd like to go meet your friends. So what is the way to do it? Regulate your contact with the world. Just because you have the facility, don't indulge. Just because you can afford to go to a restaurant every day, you don't have to go. Go once in a couple of weeks. So you look forward to it. That pleasure is maintained. So you have to give it space, regulate, moderate. So what happens, especially the ones who are, I would say, afflicted with wealth, because it's available, this is indulge and you lose everything. And the worst thing is you pass that to your children. How many children we've seen born in wealth and just completely destroyed because there's nothing to look forward to. You become depressed, suicidal even, been suicides. The wise does not rejoice in them. The wise understands temporary. Nothing but sorrow comes out of it. So fix your thought on the higher and moderate the lower. That should be your motto. Vedanta is not saying stay away because you need it. You can't stay away fully. If you could, you're a saint. So Vedanta is practical. It's not, it understands. It meets everybody where they are. But if you indulge, you will lose the pleasure. And you will crave for more and more if you don't have any higher purpose in life. That Trishna, that thirst will not leave you for more and more. So this is wisdom, friend. You must understand how life functions. So the delusion is you believe that by gaining that next thing, it will make you okay. It doesn't. That's the delusion. If you can just look past that, you'll understand there's no such thing. When you were in college, what was your thing? If I just get that job, now that you got it, what happened? How did it change? Now you want to be middle management. You think, wow, middle man. The minute you get there, you think top management. No meaning at all. They have a beginning and an end. Adyantavanta. So remember these words, beginning and an end, and just wombs of sorrow. If you really understand this, see, these weddings, I'm just giving you one example. Who remembers? Anybody remembers your wedding? Tragedy. First of all, the tragedy. And tragic, I have not seen one. And how much time, effort, money for those 2-3 hours, which nobody cares. You understand, except you. After all, even you forgot. So whole life goes like that. You must understand. In India, they have nothing else to do. The national pastime is weddings. Your weddings, friends' children's wedding, brother-in-law, sister-in-law's, mother-in-law's wedding. Mother-in-law also possible nowadays. And this wedding and that wedding. And in the papers, is nothing but this one got married. And then before the wedding, which function? Which and after wedding, pre-wedding festivities, post-wedding festivity. Tragedy, you must say. And for what? Just that little bit of, for that instantaneous kick you get. That's what Kabira says. Raat gavaye, soy ke, divas gavaye, khaye. Hira janam anmol tha, kaudi badle jaye. Your night is wasted in sleeping anyway, right? You have to sleep. And he says, in your day is wasted in eating. Divas gavaye khaye means whole time in the day you are thinking about the next enjoyment. After breakfast, what's for lunch? After lunch, that way. This life you have, priceless life, human life, which you can realize yourself. Kaudi, but means you've exchanged it for pennies. Exchanged a diamond for a penny. Now what can you do? You got the Kohinoor diamond, and somebody say, I'll give you a penny for it. Please. Lovely penny. That's what we've done with our life. Literally. The wise says, no, I'll keep the diamond. That's all he's saying. You keep your penny. Yes, Chitra.
Yes, Hari Om Gautamji, thank you for taking my question. So you said sorrow masked by pleasure and pleasure masked by sorrow. I think you said both of them. To me, it's easier to understand the sorrow that's masked by pleasure. And my understanding is that our tactile senses are drawing us towards all those pleasures. What is it inside us that should draw us to the pleasure marked by sorrow?
Intellect, knowledge. Only by understanding, right? So, see, that's what he's going to talk about in the next verse. See, now, a moth flies towards the flame, right? It is attracted to the flame. It doesn't understand it's going to get burnt. It has no intellect. Now, if your mind is attracted to fire, your intellect will control the mind. Look, you'll get burnt, right? But that attraction to control is the sorrow. You understand? You're attracted to something, to control it is the sorrow. Which you know, but it will give rise to joy later on, permanent joy. So that's what I gave you the example of exercise. A person who's tamasic, lazy, he detests the idea of exercise, getting up from the couch and moving and going to the gym. It's sorrow to him because he's so attached to laziness, lethargy. But he doesn't understand that he gets over that initial sorrow and that same exercise will change his life. physically at least. Be far healthier, energetic, active, protected from disease. And incidentally, you will enjoy the exercise after a while. You look forward to it. The day you don't do it, you feel, my God, something missing, See, I talk to newcomers. I say, you have to get up early in the morning. Oh, tell me anything. Don't tell me getting up early and studying, It's detestable. I can understand. To a person who's never gotten up early in their life and studied higher values, it's the worst thing you can think of. Especially in this weather nowadays. Be under the comforter. Heating is on. You understand? But you have to do it. So, and if you get used to it, trust me, there is no greater pleasure in life. It's not possible. Then early in the morning, when your intellect is fresh, clear, tender time of the morning, 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m., and you're studying what is Brahman, what is the reality, and how futile is this world. There cannot be a greater pleasure. You can become president or CEO, it will go, no comparison. So, but in the beginning, it's detestable. Abhi, you had something?
Yes, Swamiji, thank you for the opportunity. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned a very good point about Vedanta doesn't stops you to non-acquire. You continue to acquire your acquisitions, yet don't get attached. So I think the bigger question for me is that majority of the world, we are living in a normal people, right? We're not self-realized or we're not, saints. So how do we continue to live a normal life with acquisition, both material and non-material, yet don't get attached?
No, the only way you don't get attached is when you're attached to something higher. That frees you from the lower attachment. So how you start is by, like I just said, you need to start learning the knowledge. You don't have to leave what you're doing, but you have to put in time to gain this knowledge. Understand and appreciate these higher values of life. And as you do so, how you put it into practices instead of living for just you and your family, which is okay. You need to make your living, you need to provide for your family. You must also work for a higher purpose beyond you and your family. So find something that inspires you. It could be working for your organization, could be working for the community, could be serving a cause which inspires you, whatever it is. So the same work you do, but not just for yourself. You say, I must do it for a purpose beyond my selfish interest. That's good enough. So continue what you're doing. These two things have to change. You have to get up and study in the morning, listen to these talks, and become less selfish in your day-to-day life. You're well on your way. See, that's what the Gita's central teaching is. Krishna is not telling Arjuna to leave the war, right? He's telling him to fight, but not for getting his own kingdom back. It's to fight for the sake of the country. These unrighteous elements have to be removed. So he's asking him to fight a war because he's a warrior. So you're a businessman, do business. You're a musician, play music. You're an engineer, do engineering. But make sure there's a higher purpose in your life, not just me and my family. All animals work for themselves and their families. You've got to be a human being. You got it, Abhi? Vikram.
Gautamji, there are two questions on chat. How does one get rid of neutralization? And is regulation the same as self-control?
Yes, so how you get rid of neutralization is by moderation, regulation. You're correct. So there is an element of self-control, because when you have the means to acquire the object and the object is available, obviously you have to practice some degree of self-control. Otherwise you'll get sick of it. You'll lose the enjoyment. You should go, if you want the proof, go to your refrigerator right now and open it. Freezer, not refrigerator. Freezer. Half the ice creams will be expired. Trust me. I'll come to your. It's not that I have nothing better to do, but go for yourself. It's just there, and you don't care. You understand? It's just available. So just because available, you go on eating, and you've lost the pleasure. It's just something. There's nothing to look forward. So from now on, get it occasionally. Not should be available anytime. So this is self-control. So you'll find you look forward to it. You won't get neutralized. See, my guru is 99. If I go and give him a chocolate, he'll still enjoy it. Can you believe? Trust me, even now. Otherwise, by 29, you'll have blood pressure, blood sugar, by indulgence. Right? You can't enjoy anything. So regulation, moderation is how you keep your enjoyment going, which needs self-control. The reason you can't do it, it's available. What is there to control you? There's no intellect functioning. Especially your kids, you got to make sure they understand the value, and make sure they just because you can afford it, you just flood them and destroy them. You're destroying them. You're making them lose all the pleasure of life in a very early age. Everything's available. So by the time they're 18, 19, everything's boring. So, see, this is a true story. I was shocking even when I say it to you. So I was in a house guest, one of my lectures, not here, not in New York, somewhere else in the country. And we were on the table. And this guy who invited me, he's a big he's a private equity type fellow, many companies and all. So he's made so much money. The fellow, all his whole life is next trip. I've seen it. All these guys have money, they have nothing else to do. So whole time they're planning the next trip, next vacation. So this fellow is he's Italy, or I don't know which something he said, and he's asking his daughter, honey, she's 9 years old. Where do you want to go? And she's saying, 9-year-old or maybe 10 years old she was. Dad, can we not go anywhere? And he says, why? What's your problem? This is something he was saying. He says, because I want to have at least few places left when I get married to see with my husband. She's telling him. She's 10 years old. She's sick and tired of that fellow taking them. I still can't believe I heard this. I'm sitting right there. I wanted to say, take me instead, man. So,
at the emotional and the intellectual level, it's not as obvious as at the material and physical level.
Emotional,
and
intellectual level.
So, how do you recognize and regulate?
Regulate, same thing, emotions. Morning, noon, night, I love you, you love me. I love you, you love me. Love you, love you, love you, love me, love me, love me. You understand? Whole day they do this only. So after a while, it has no meaning at all. It's like a mechanical routine thing. With it, there's no pleasure. Without it, suppose by mistake that fellow doesn't say I love you, it will be a big fight. If you miss it. But there's nothing there. So even expression should be regulated. See, in this world, there's no point talking because you'll all misunderstand. This fellow is cold-hearted. He doesn't care. Nothing like that. There should be a freshness in everything. not a monotony. So after a while, they're all bored. Then they want somebody else. Everything is like that. Because of indulgence. Same thing. Emotional. Anything it applies. We give the examples of sense objects because they're easy to understand. Same thing. It's exactly the same. Deepika.
Doesn't gratitude also help to regulate some of that, getting used to something?
I'm grateful for the ice cream, but go on having it. What do you mean gratitude doesn't help? We're talking about, are you contacting it or not?
No, but in the like even with wealth, if you have gratitude for your wealth and understand that and share it versus just being
that's different.
About it.
That comes when you have a higher purpose in life through knowledge and understanding. Only then you will share. You won't share just because you're grateful for it. See, it's like it has to be an internal transformation. Not just suppose you see somebody else giving away their wealth, doesn't mean you'll give it away, yours. He has that feeling, you don't. So, gratitude is that feeling to repay for what you've got, right? That's how you must apply gratitude. In fact, before service, you must at least repay those who've served you. Gratitude is not giving, it is just repayment of what you have got. So it's a fundamental quality, you're right. But it's not going to help you not indulge. That's all I'm trying to tell you. That comes with knowledge and understanding that I will lose the pleasure. I will destroy myself. Why should I do that? So we just get so blinded by this instant gratification that we don't see the whole picture of life. All of you should understand. This is the problem. So in the scriptures, there's a story. A man is walking in a forest and suddenly he sees a tiger behind him. And he's terrified. He runs for his life and he sees a tree and he climbs up the tree. And he says, "Oh, I'm saved." The tiger tries, but it can't climb the tree. So he says, "I'm safe." But then he feels the tree creaking because it's a dead tree. Then again the fear comes back. And then he sees on the side of the tree there's a river. So he has an idea, let me jump into the river. I'm a good swimmer. I'll be safe from this tiger even if the tree falls. As soon as he's about to jump, he sees a crocodile. So gone. Tree is shaking, crocodile, tiger. And in all that confusion, he hits the beehive on that tree. So what's happening? He can't come down now. He's trapped. Bees are stinging him. Tiger is down, crocodile is down, tree is shaking, bees are stinging. And then, if you can't imagine anything worse, he sees a drop of honey dropping from the beehive and he sticks his tongue out. Now, pause that frame right there. That is a human being. You and me. I'm not joking. See, the tree represents your life and everything in it, so fragile, shaking. Disease, death, disability, anything can happen anytime. We don't understand. So fragile, everything that you have. And death is there. The tiger, one type of death, crocodile, another type. It's just the type which is different. It's the inevitable end. And that's not bad enough. These constant pinpricks of life, the bee stinging, husband is terrible, goes on nagging, and the children, and then the boss at work, and the traffic, and then this, and then the that. Neighbor, I got a new neighbor, horrible fellow. These are the constant stress and strain of life. And you ignore everything. Why? What are we doing on Friday night? That's the drop of honey. Because we are so fixated on that next enjoyment. You don't understand the whole picture. None of us do. It's not possible, because if you did, you would just jump up and stay fixated on the self till you get there. So somewhere we don't understand. In spite of all the lectures, all the knowledge, all the books, all the philosophers, all the prophets and teachers for thousands of years, human beings remain where they are. The vast majority. So you got to change your perception. You got to sit with this knowledge and ask yourself, what do I need to do? Where am I going wrong? Where am I attached? What am I fascinated by? What is preventing me to pursue the self with full commitment? Then you become wise. That is wisdom. So 21, he says, you gain that happiness within till you hit enlightenment. If you don't, the wombs of sorrow, temporary, nothing. And now 23, he talks about what is that where you have to focus your attention to come out of this mess.
Shaknoti haivaya sodum sharira vimokshanat kama krodhodbhavam vegam sayuktasya sukhi naraha.
He who is able to withstand even here, Shaknoti means able. Before liberation from the body, the force arising from desire and anger. He is a yogi. He is Sukhi Nara, a happy man. So, what is the problem? Even when you understand how important it is to pursue these higher values, why are we not able to do that? He says it's that vegam. It's a beautiful word he uses. Vega means that force, that pressure. Pressure of what? Kama, krodha, born of desire and anger. So we have these desires, attachments. Anger comes when there is an obstruction to them. It's just one modification of desire. There are many. Greed is amplification of desire. Jealousy is others have more than your desire. All these emotions. Fear arises when your desire is fulfilled. You fear losing it. So desire and all its modifications create this force, vega in life, which prevents us from following or doing what we believe is right. So what is he saying? What is he saying here? Can anyone tell me? Yes, Roxanne?
You're able to put aside your desires, then you're liberated.
It's not able to put aside your desires. You're able to withstand that force. See, today this is a holiday weekend, right? At least here in America, and friends and family are all there. I'm just giving a simple example. Now, maybe many of you have friends or family in the other room saying, mom or dad, or we've come home and you should be spending all this time with us. And there's a force of attachment. It's my children, it's my family. But you say, no, look, I've spent the whole weekend with you, not because I'm sick and tired of you, but I would like to spend some more time, but we can always make it up after the class. So you resisted that force and said, no, this is important. I'm just giving a very simple example. Right? So similarly in life, a person is spiritual when he can resist that force of his own mind, which leads him away from the self. So what makes you spiritual or not? Can you say no to your mind? Can you resist that force? Are you able to say no to your child or your husband or your whatever your attachment is? Not that you're neglecting them, but you need to put everything in life in its proper place. If you can do that, you say he is a yogi. Yogi means a person uniting with the self, a truly spiritual person. And consequently, he will be happy. Once you put in that effort to say no, you're on a different level. You're able to cut off from your mind. You're a king. Literally, you're the king. So you got to do that. You got to do that. So wherever you find the mind, and it's difficult, it's not easy because the mind is very powerful. You may feel inspired now with this talk, but the minute the mind comes up later on in the day or the week, it will take over. So you got to work on keep building your intellect. That is what this study and reflection every morning will help you. Then you'll be happy. No. No means no. If anything comes in the way of my spiritual path, my higher purpose in life, sorry. Most of us don't have that strength. So we remain where we are. You succumb. Then you come back. Then you succumb again. Then you come back. What's the point? There's no force being built in one direction. It's like one day you follow the menu, next day you don't. The third day you follow the menu which your dietitian has given, next fourth day you don't. Net result, back to square one. It's like that. Spiritually is exactly the same. He who is able to withstand, even here. Here means you don't have to be enlightened. You have to be able to do it now. You'll be happy. Right? So any questions, clarifications, we will take it up on, you can email us, we'll take it up in the Wednesday Q&A. Otherwise, we'll see you on the weekend. Hari Om.